Hey everybody, welcome again to Ken Knows Gambling. And I'm not doing my next session of the late 10. I'll save that. I think we're going to session 6 or 7. Hell, I don't remember. But that ain't what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another session of crazy craps. Alright? Now, what we're going to do, I think it's nuts. I see it all the time. These power pressers, man. And sometimes they get lucky and hit. And I'm not going to lie. But most of the time, I think they just crash and burn. You got a lot of people who like playing this way. So, let me explain what I'm going to do. Now, this is my normal bankroll for my 10 series. And I'm going to use some of it, with some of it over here. But I'll put it back when this is over. We're going to do power press of, let me see, 160 across. We're going to give the guy 5 shooters times 5. So he's going to have an $800 bankroll. So, we'll get rid of these. Actually, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I got to give him 5 shooters. 800. 5. Oh, 6. Yeah, 11 is close, but we'll use like 800 of it. Alright, so what the power presser does, and I don't even know how many times they press it. I just think it's whack. But what he's going to do really is he is going to risk, or she, $160 5 times, and what they're going to do, normally they just try to double their bankroll. Alright, now I've seen them press it 3 times, 4 times, 5. I mean, so I've got to have a limit at some point. So it's going to be 3 full presses. If anything presses 3 full times, then I'll get to take that profit. I know some of them will press until they have doubled their bankroll out here. But I'm going to, since I don't really know how they play, because I just think it's nonsense. But if it hits the 3rd press, we'll take it back down to the single unit. Okay? He's got 5 shooters to make something happen. Alright, that's how I'm going to do it. But I call this crazy craps, because I think it's crazy to do this. But anyway, alright, let's get a point. There's a 9. Those are off. So here we go. Can't take nothing off the board until we hit the 3rd press. Alright, 11. There's the 7. So there's the first guy that ain't going to make it. Alright, let's throw it out there again. I mean, I've seen some of these guys hit it. I mean, I have, I won't lie to you, but shoot. So he's going to risk 800 to try to win, double his bankroll. I guess risk 800 to win 800, I guess. Here we go. So it's either 800, he's either going to burn the 8 or he's going to hit his goal. It's one or the other. There's a 3. There's an 8. Alright, here we go. There's an 8. That's the point. There's our first hit. So there's our first press. We'll go ahead and pocket that. They're off. There's an 8. Unfortunately. Here we go. There's a 5. There's our first press. We'll go ahead and put that there. I'm not paying in pennies here, or white chips. Alright, here we go. There's the 4. There's our first press. Now, I know there's a lot of money out there. Remember, he's only risking the 160 each time. Everything else is profit. There's a 10. First press. There's a 2. 3. There's an 8. So that's worth 70. So this is going to be the second press. He's still got to get one more before he can take. I mean, one more and then one more. That's only our second. Let's see, 25 went to 60. There was one. That's our second press. Okay. All right, here we go. 12. There's a 7 out. Didn't quite get there, did he? Alright. Alright, let's come out again. He's got 3 more shooters to try to make it happen. There's a 7. These are off. 9. Alright, here we go. There's a 5. There's our first press, so we're just sort of pocketing the layovers. Alright, there's a 9. There's our first press, that's the point. Okay, so everything's off. Alrighty. So 2. 10. There's our first press. There's the 7 out. Alright. Now, how much? That was his original. So, he gave up $100 there. And who knows? He gave up a bunch on that last one, too. And he lost his 160. So really, that's a $260 swing right there. Here's his third attempt. Okay, don't count. We're off. There's a 10. Alright, here we go. He needs a number or 2 to get hotter than a pistol. Alright, 12. 2. 8. Alright, there's our first press. 6. First press on the 6. Pocket another little nickel. 3. 9. There's our first press. We'll pocket a couple. There's a 5. There's our first press. There's a 6. That's going to win 70. There's our second press on the 6. Still got to get one more win. Well, actually 2 more wins. Got to press it one more and then hit it again. but that's the closest one so far. We're gonna 11. There's a 9. That's worth 70. All right. We'll go ahead and press that up to that. We'll actually pocket it a little bit. 4. That's our first one. Now, what they would normally, the power pressers, they would go ahead and put it all there because they're paying in singles, ones, like 21, 28. I just don't want to, so I let him keep a few of them, right? There's the 7 out. Oh well. So on that particular run, other than his 160, which is right there, right? This one, there's 250, there's another 270 plus 160 that he gave up. But he still believes one of these next shooters will get in there. I hope it does. But, oh my goodness. So he's got 2 more shooters to make something happen. Even though I had 1,100, 800 is 5 shooters. So you got 2 more. This one and one more. All right, here we go. 12. 9. All right. 6. There's the first one. 9 is the point. There's the first press. Get us a point in. There's the 7 out. It's a common theme to me amongst these power pressers. Common theme. Alright, he's got one more shot at it. Because this was just overflow. I may let him do that too. Who knows? And this is his last shot at it. This is the $800th being put out. That's 5 shooters at 160. There's a 4. There's a 7 out. He didn't make it. Alright, now, if I let him, we'll go ahead and give him a 6 shooter for that $1,100. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. There's 2 more quarters. And right there. And he'll get to, if he misses this one, he'll get to walk away with about $100 of his 11, because that was a little profit, right? This is actually his 6th shooter. Okay, there's the 12. There's the 5. Okay, here we go. He needs something to happen magically today. Right now, there's an 8. And most of these guys will just press it off, right? I'm even allowing the guy to keep a nickel, 10, 20 at a time. Okay, there's a 6. That's another hit. That's worth 70. Let's press that for the second time. Wait a minute. That first we gave him 35, and we went to 60. So now he gets 70. I know I slided myself. There we go. So this is his second press. I didn't keep a couple bucks. Something like that. 12. He needs two more sixes. There's one of them. Alright, that gives him 140. Alright, it all gets pressed. Let's see, let's get a black one. There's 2. We'll let him press to 240. Let him keep 20. He gets to collect on the next 6, which is what he's been waiting on. There's a 5. That's a point. His first press. 12. 11. 9. Here we go. He needs another 6 like a big dog. 10. 6. Boy, that saved his butt. Alright, he gets 280. Let's give him 300 for 20. 300 for 20. Now he gets to bring all this down, or bring that down to the original. So that gave him 500. That gave him some more life. Okay, so we're still going with what he had. There's a 5. Okay, press that. There's a 10. This will be the second press of the 10. 3. 5. It's worth 140. We'll give him 150 for 10. And we're going to go ahead. There's a 200. 250. That'll be, if he hits that one, that'll be the third one there. This one is 25 to 50. Let's see, what does he need here? Sorry. 25. That's the first press, and then 150. He still needs another one here. I think he can collect on the 5. He can collect on the 5. Okay, there's the 7. Got close. But he did hit that 1-6. But boy, he gave up a lot of money. I mean, he's had his 800 bucks. You know. Alright. So he's got 500. There's still some of the profit. So let's go ahead, and I don't want to play this forever, but let's go ahead and get 500. With his profit, you know, he's got almost $700 of it back, of the 11. I gave him that 6 shooter. If I hadn't gave him the 6 shooter, he would have burned. But I did. So gave him the 6-shooter. I should have only gave him 800 and he would have crashed and burned. But since I did, well, you know. Three. But all he needs is a couple of those to hit the third one, especially if he did it in one shooter. So I can see how they can make it. There's a 4, but still, there's the first one on the 4. There's a 6. Okay. There's the 7 out, which is how it goes a lot of the time. Here we go. 7. Alright. 4. There's the first press. 11. 3. 10. Alright, here we go. We need some magic. There's an 8. We got a little magic on the 6th shooter. Yeah, he needs a little more. Yo, 11. 4. Here's our second press. There's a 5. There's a 4. Now we got to do a third press. So, I think first press, and then I'm going to do the second. All right. 225. That's 450. Let's see. He's going to win 450. Let's see. 225. He wins 450. Press it. He gets another 4. That might do it for him. Damn sure might. Boy, he's rooting for that 4. You know he is. There's an 11. He is praying for a 4. There it is! Oh my lantern! Alright, leave this stuff alone. 675 times 2 is $1,350. Alright, now watch this. Let's put this. He started with 1,100 because that's what I gave him. So I have to do that. 1,100. There's what he started with. Right there. This becomes profit. So does this. So does this. Bring it all down. And let's see what he ended up with, and I can end the video. I actually get to double dip. I showed you what is normally going to happen. He had to get to a 6 shooter, and then when he won that one hit, it gave him another few shooters, and then that one shooter hit that one. Maybe that's what power pressers are hoping for. Maybe it's just I'll burn my $1,100 to try to do this. I don't know. I know a lot of people swear by it. I just still think it's crazy for the most part. I think you're going to burn that 11 way more often than you're going to get it. But that's just my opinion. But enough that I'm calling it crazy. Alright? Even though this is going to prove out to be a winner, well, I'll just leave that to you guys to figure out. Alright? So, first of all, there's 100. There's 75. Nope. 1, 2, 3. That's 75. $1,325 plus he put his bankroll back together. He got to the 6th player and he got a third hit, or got his third, and then he hit it. That saved him, gave him 500, gave him some more, and then on his basically last shooter of that one, that 4 hit the third one, which gave him all the money. And so technically he's a winner. The power presser, the way I did it, he won $1,325. I'll leave it up to you. You may say, well, that ain't so crazy. Well, if that's what you think, that's fine. I think it is. And I've explained it why. But I have to show the good, bad, and the ugly too, right? And so there you go. So that is, I think, session 6 of Crazy Craps, I think. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think on that one. But anyway, we'll come back again a little bit later and we'll do the next session of the late 10 across KKG. But I hope you enjoyed that one of Crazy Craps. Interesting, isn't it? All right. Till the next time, be great.